Hey, what's up everybody? This is BS for Build. I'm Chris. Today we are working on the Plan B BRZ. Since our last trip, the last episode where we drove it about 600 miles in one day, I parked it in front of my house, put a car cover over it, and I haven't touched it. So it needs a little bit of love. Today the things that I want to work on are trying to get the passenger window put up, and then I want to work on repairing the driver's seat. The driver's seat's blown out from an airbag blowout. And I've repaired a few seats before from airbag explosions, and I wanted to show you guys how you can do that. As well as doing that, we are going to look at the rear quarter panel and see what we want to replace there. We're going to be ordering, well, actually I already did, order a rear quarter panel, so I want to start looking at that and seeing where the pain points are going to be and what we need to do. First steps first, that BRZ has been sitting outside of my house. It's looking a little lonely, and we got too much space in the driveway. I'm going to go get that car. Alright, car's here. Let's get to work. When it comes to the passenger side window not rolling up, I actually think, strangely enough, that the problem is coming from over here. We had this happen on the Subaru in the road trip episode where there wasn't a door panel over here, and because of that, none of the other windows in the car worked. And I think that that's the issue. So we got our other BRZ right behind me, and it has a door panel in it, and it's not exactly the same model. It's the limited edition. But I believe that this will be the same, and I'm really fingers crossed because this is also an FRS door on a BRZ. So we got FRS door on a BRZ of one model, and then we got the other BRZ of another model that we're working on. So it's gonna be a little bit complicated, but hopefully we'll plug this in, and then the windows will work, and we'll roll that window up. So to do that first, we gotta go to our other BRZ and pop the door panel off. All right, well, I have to admit, I did not look online and figure out how to do this before filming this, so don't take this as a how-to. If anything, maybe take this as a an entertaining joke, or you know, just how to go about generally taking a door panel off. So first thing I would do is look for any obvious things that hold the door panel on, like this pop rivet back here, and I see something right here. That is, if you're doing this at home and you want to figure out how to do it, that's right behind your door handle. It's a little cover that leads to a Phillips head screw. Now, it should have been more clear. We actually don't need to take the whole door panel off, but we probably will have to do what I need to do. What we need is this control unit right here that does the locks and the windows, and most importantly, the window lock. What I think is that this thing, without being connected, isn't letting me use any of the other windows. So I pulled that off. Normally around handles there are also bolts that need to be pulled off, because that's where you're supposed to be grabbing the door and yanking real hard, and they want those parts to be bolted into the car, but I'm not seeing anything. So the next step I normally do is start working my way around the outside, and these have these what are called pop rivets, or I don't know, they're little plastic bastards that pop in and out. And it's worth noting, you want to do this on your car hopefully as little as possible, because every time you do this, it kind of, they don't seem to go on as well the next time. Hopefully you don't have to do this a lot on your car. But I've ended up with cars where the doors kind of felt very flimsy after a lot of years. BMWs seem to have that problem a lot. It's really embarrassing when you go on a date and she goes to close your door and it rips off in her hand. It's never happened to me, I promise. You might notice I'm being a little bit more careful than normal. I really like this door panel. It's got like leather and stuff. It's really nice, so I don't want to damage it. There's definitely something hanging on to this part right here that I got to figure out. Well, I might have been wrong with that handle. Not normally my first approach, but actually just pulling on this thing really hard did do the trick. So once I get this completely disconnected, I'm going to show you guys where the pins are. So if you have to do this at home, say maybe you're switching out your speakers or something, you can do it a little bit easier. Okay, so flip side of this door panel. Here's where everything is. It is fully attached by these plastic nipples. So, to take this door off, you basically undo that push rivet there and do the things I did on the video and then just pull real hard and they'll all pop off. That is a bummer though, because like I said, you wear all those things out, somebody's gonna go to grab your door and shut it and they might rip the panel off your door. I don't know how common that is anymore these days. That might be an old problem. To take this the rest of the way off, you have these two things that have in the center of them a little bit of plastic that needs to be pushed down. And you might have been able to see I was kind of failing when it came to this one. Getting this piece of plastic to push down so it will slide out easily was not that easy, and I was kind of pulling the part off of my door panel. You know, I don't pay close attention to being really careful with a lot of stuff, but when it comes to door panels, man, if you break them, they stay broken forever, and they're such a pain in the ass every time you go to use your car. Say you wanted to go hit a button and every time you clicked it, it just kind of fell into the center of the door. It's just something you don't need. So this is an area that doesn't seem like you want to be very careful, but it is an area to be careful. Don't just break stuff willy-nilly. These two things, you want to pull the handle back, and that will loosen the tension on this. And then this is one of these is for the door handle pull, and this is for the lock. Anyways, you pull it back, and then you'll see when you look in there, you position these things, pull it out sideways, it'll come on out. And this is some sort of light or something, just clip right out. Anyways, our door panel's off. Now we're gonna go take this over to our other BRZ, we're gonna plug it in, and we're gonna try and use the buttons to roll the window up. All right, this is the here goes nothing point. I'm trying to get a decent angle so you guys can see what's going on, but ow, got myself in the mouth with that one. Oh. I don't feel like any safety equipment would have really helped me there. Okay, we're plugged in. I'm going to turn the car on, and you at home, even though this isn't happening in real time, please cross your fingers. Got the lucky Mighty Car Mods keychain. Soon to have Beers for Build keychains. If this is in the future, check out our shop. All right, car's kind of on. These are lit up. Oh, I probably should have filmed that. Hang on, wait. I'll just talk amongst yourselves. Talk amongst yourselves. Lucky car keychain and stuff, you know, nonsense, whatever. First try, I haven't done this before. Oh, we got window. Whoa. Oh yeah, that'll do this window too, huh? All right, we have windows. We got window power. All right, now that we got two windows up on this car, I feel a little bit better about it being outside. And the next thing that I wanted to work on is scoping out the level of damage to the rear quarter panel. Oh, this door's not gonna stay open. Fail, door fail. Excuse me while I stand over here casually. Anyways, scoping out the level of damage. So that's not gonna take long. This is all damaged. What I've done is I've ordered a new rear quarter panel, and I'm trying to get it cut from about here, going in through here and going all the way back. And then body work, which we all know I'm so great at, will ensue. And it's going to be a little bit interesting. I guess there's nothing really I can do right now, but basically it's the process of you take this outer skin off of the inner skin, and then if you had the right machinery, you'd bend the inner skin back to its original shape, and then you'd weld your new outer skin on. And that is going to be in an episode very soon. Luckily we have, oh man, my VIN number sticker's all blasted off. Luckily I got some more time off work soon, and that is going to be good. But for now, this blown out seat could really use a repair. So I'm going to pull the seat from the car, and bring it inside since we're losing daylight and show you guys how to sew up a new seat. Probably not going to get too in depth about how to take a seat out. I believe there are 8mm bolts. Grab your socket wrench, there's 4 of them, pull your seat out. Alright, well, it wouldn't be BS Rebuilt if we didn't run into some problems. So here's what happened. Adrian warned me about this, the cameraman. He warned me about this when he was putting these bolts in there. He told me that one of these was really stripped out and is extremely hard to work with. If you look at these bolts, I'm not sure if the camera's going to focus correctly. If you look at these bolts, they're shaped like this. That is not exactly how you want to get on them with a standard socket wrench. But a socket wrench normally does work if yours aren't stripped out. But mine got stripped out in the back. That thing's really hard to get out. So I'm going to run down to the tool store and see if I can get a tool to get this socket. If not, it's going to be real hard to get the seat out of the car. Alright guys, I'm back. Unfortunately, it's pretty much pitch black outside, or dark, or whatever you want to call it. There's a little bit of light from that football field next door, which is kind of nice. I got this thing, it's called an E socket, and I think E stands for expensive. But I got one, and I think the one that you need for the BRZ is a 10. So I'm gonna jump back in the car, use my new fancy E-socket, and get this seat out of here. Alright, so we moved the chair back inside into my living room. I don't know how much of that you could see from last night, but basically we took that E-socket, it was number 11, popped that last bolt out of the seat rail, and pulled the seat out and moved it on into here. So the next step that you want to do when you're trying to repair a seat, well, let's go over what happened. Basically what happens is the SRS system has a side seat airbag, I don't know what they call it, side cushion airbag or something like that. This combined with the side curtain airbag are both going to blow up on side impact from your vehicle. So that's what happened here. These are meant to split here and explode out. So you'll see a bar in here. This is an explosive charge. It's been discharged and you can replace these. I would never do it myself because I don't trust myself to put explosives in a car that I'm going to be in. I think it's honestly for myself safer to just be in a car without any explosives. So there's a couple different methods of going about this. The way these are originally sewn is they're sewn from the inside. So they fold these two pieces of fabric together and they're going to make a stitch from the inside. You can make a stitch from the outside, and if you use black thread it's not going to be very obvious. But I'm going to try and do it from the inside. And to do it from the inside, you got to get this piece of fabric off. Now, I don't know if that's possible or going to be very graceful, but I think I might give it a try. I don't know. So first things first, though, I'm going to see how much of this I can get off. I know there's some zippers down here, and if I can get on the inside and be able to sew this up from the inside and then peel it back over, that's going to give me the best look for this upholstery. Okay, so it wasn't too hard to unzip the back here and disconnect this from the back corner, and I can get this piece to kind of move freely. What that'll let me do is kind of flip it inside out and grab this seam here on the inside and then start sewing down around through. So I'm going to start at the top where it's still intact. I'm just going to work my way down towards the bottom. Another reason to start at the top and work down is that when somebody does look at this, if you make any mistakes, they're going to be a lot more evident up here at the top than they are going to be, say, down here in this corner. So make sure you don't start stitching and get off track. You don't want to get about halfway through here and realize you're up here. What I do is I actually just try and match up the factory OEM stitching and actually go use the holes that are already put in there. The thread's all still going to be here. Like I said, this is meant to be blown in half, so the thread is actually all still here. You can see where these things were sewn together before. Follow that path, follow that pattern, and sew it on down through. To work on these types of applications, you're going to want to get some upholstery thread. Upholstery thread is more robust, it's a lot stronger, and it's a lot thicker than the standard thread you might buy for clothes or other fabrics. So pick up some upholstery thread that's the right color. I'm doing black, and I like to use these heavy duty needles, and they got some that curves in them and turns and stuff like that. Just helps when you're working on upholstery. I do not know the actual exact correct ones that you would use, but that's what I like to use. Okay, well after sewing for a little bit, I have decided to change up my approach a little bit. The amount of slack that I was able to gain by just unzipping that side and flipping it over wasn't really enough. And after looking into this back here, I think that if I bend this out a little bit, what I'm going to be able to do, there's a bar back here, and it connects this piece of fabric, which is the front piece, to the back piece. And there's this little rod, and there's these 4 hoops. And I think if I flatten out this rod, damn, that thing's strong. I was trying to not have to cut these hoops, but one way or another, I'm going to flatten out this rod, I'm going to slide it out, and then that's going to take the front and the back pieces and detach them. And then with the 2 zippers on the side, I'll basically be able to peel it all the way up from the bottom, and then that'll give me a ton of slack, and I can work on this, and it should be easier than ever. Okay, now that I have the inside of my seat out like this, I can see that some of the stitching that I was doing is not where I want it to be, so I'm actually just gonna... Oh, bad time to remember I lost the needle. Oh well, anyways, I'm just gonna go through and take my scissors, which are way too heavy duty for this job. Might get some different ones. Anyways, I'm just gonna pop out all the stitches that I made before and come back and redo them. And that is one thing that I've learned from doing seats and stuff like this. There's my needle. Is don't be afraid to come back and redo your work if you find a better way to do it or a better way to approach it, or just if you're not happy with it at all, because you're gonna have this seat for a long time and it only takes a day to do this. You might as well do it right. Okay, so what I was able to do, you can see up here I was doing a stitch that went around the fabric, and I decided to not continue doing that, and I'm going to come back and redo this. Like I said, you do something you don't like it, you can always just snip the threads out and come back and redo it. And what I did was I switched to one of these little guys. I have no idea about sewing terminology or anything like that, and I'm just following the holes that were already there. So that helps me keep a nice straight pattern, and I'm going all the way down, and then when I get done, I'm gonna reverse it and do the other side. So what you'll see in the end is one solid line, right, like this. Kind of similar to this one right here. I'm gonna do that right there. So I went through here and I did one pass with just a kind of standard stitch following all the holes, and then I did a little test fitting and it looked really good, and I kind of decided I don't need to do a secondary pass through, at least not right now. I could always come back. So I wanted to film this, so I'll try and test fit it and we'll see how it looks and see if I want to make any adjustments. This is the part that needs to slide back down into there. And voila! So this is our seam that we just sewed up, and you can see it's a little ziggy and zaggy. I mean, it looks definitely like, I mean, clean. People aren't going to notice it. It's not as exactly straight because that one was done with the machine, where this one was done by hand. But this looks very good, and this isn't going to draw any attention, and it will hold up. I've done this on cars before. And you know, a year later, 2 years later, jumping in and out of the car, and it's still totally staying together as long as this fabric doesn't wear down, because we got 2 layers of fabric before we go into our stitching here. So that's awesome. Let's zip this thing back up and button this thing back up and then get it back in the car.
All right, we're in. For the cost of a little bit of needle and thread, we got the seat fixed up. Next time I'm driving around without a door on, I'm gonna look a lot better. Fresh. This is a great, DIY project. I remember the first time I bought a car that had a blown airbag. I looked at that seat and I just thought, like, what am I gonna do now? I don't wanna have to go to an upholster. It's definitely something you guys can repair at home. With that, that's the end of the episode. Check us out, bsforbuild.com. Facebook.com/bsforbuild, Instagram, bsforbuild on Instagram. If you're watching this video in the future, check out our shop. If you're watching this video right now, stay tuned. Shop's coming real soon. Probably gonna go work on that tonight, actually. Thank you guys very much for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe. Peace.